just dip into the live audio as well, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is receiving the ceremonial guard of honor.
Lapor upacara penyambutan siap dimulai. Selanjutnya pasukan siap diperiksa.
Well, that's the kind of cheer and chants that are coming in from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and Akansha, no less, coming in from the children. I mean, we know how much he enjoys the company there. And of course, we're looking at the children there, the ceremonial guard of honor, and accompanied by the President of Indonesia.
Oh, absolutely, Amita. These visuals speaking 1,000 words, actually. And if you can see the kind of pageantry which has been put on display, the fact that this is happening at the presidential Mederka Palace in itself is an indication of what Prime Minister's bilateral visit means to Indonesia, given that this is the palace, the presidential palace, which is in fact the center of executive authority for all high state level visits, and this is where the bilateral engagement will also be taking place in just a while from now. But just to give our viewers an understanding of what the Mederka Palace means, back in the year 1949, the name was changed of this state palace, which earlier was named after the governor, the Dutch Governor General. And in 1949, after Indonesia's hard-won independence, it was named to Mederka Palace, which of course turned into a presidential palace. It is based in the north side of the Mederka Square in Jakarta, and is of course encompassing property over 6.8 hectares of land. And so it's a magnificent lavish palace, and there you can see Prime Minister in fact being introduced to the Indonesian delegation over there. Firm handshakes being in fact exchanged between Prime Minister Modi and of course all of those Indonesian dignitaries. This is also a symbol of the kind of time-tested ancient ties that India has shared. But like we said, it's not just the traditional ties that are now in focus. India and Indonesia both are see a fresh momentum being imparted. Why so? Because India is now going to be sharing its own. What I can tell you through our interactions with the ambassadors on both sides, the Indonesian delegations have been time and again traveling to New Delhi and India for greater developmental ideas. What are they? That includes, say, reform ideas when it comes to agriculture, even understanding India's digital infrastructure. So we could expect an MOU also, Amita, when it comes to, say, India's UPI and with, say, the digital infrastructure in Indonesia. Indonesia looking towards India as a blueprint for greater and better development.
Akansha, there's been a lot of noise over BrahMos as well. I mean, we're just staying with those pictures there, and the Prime Minister has been sharing how heartening, it has been to see the cherished traditions between the two countries that have been kept alive. several cultural performances that have also been put up. But when we speak of the BrahMos, because if finalized, then Indonesia will become the second, foreign buyer of BrahMos systems after the Philippines. So that is also something which India seems to be looking forward to, defense deals.
Glad that you actually raised the defense component in this bilateral relationship. And yes, it will be with Indonesia that India will be receiving greater impetus for our own Atmanirbharta push. And that is why we are, yes, looking towards selling as far as BrahMos missile is concerned. We've already tested this missile, and one can vouch for its reliability during Operation Sindoor last year. And interesting that you highlight that this will be the second buyer of the BrahMos missile, because we've already sold that to the Philippines, and now Indonesia also looking towards India as far as the purchase of this ballistic missile is concerned. Apart from the BrahMos, we can also expect a collaboration as far as India's development of the Scorpion submarines is concerned. There is talk about tech transfer as well in that sector. So yes, defense, maritime and security cooperation will very much feature over here. Not just the fact that Indonesia happens to be one of the largest ASEAN partners to India, but also aligns with India's vision of Mahasagar, which is why Prime Minister's this tour, the three-nation tour, is looking towards bringing greater regional stability as far as India's a call for a free and open and secure Indo-Pacific is concerned, which is why Indonesia becomes extremely crucial. The other part when it comes to, say, maritime security is Indonesia's very strategic location just around the Malacca Strait, and this strait again could be a pivotal maritime, trading route as well, even more so after what we've seen happen in the Strait of Hormuz or in West Asia. These disturbances have sort of alerted countries, at least in the Asian subcontinent, to take charge of the security over here. So, in fact, the lowest point of the Andaman Nicobar Islands is very close and, adjoining to the Aceh Island of Indonesia, which is why the strategic aspect of these geographical locations is something that India and Indonesia both will be looking towards capitalizing on.
Absolutely, not very far, at around 160 kilometers, or ought to say. But Akansha, how is the Indian community in Indonesia like? How significant role that they play? Although, of course, it will be much smaller than in Australia, where the Prime Minister would be heading next. But the enthusiasm seems to be really strong.
Absolutely, and we've seen a glimpse of that already, right, Amita? That happened yesterday when Prime Minister arrived at the hotel in Jakarta, when he was received by the Indians over there. There were diaspora cultural programs as well to welcome Prime Minister Modi. As you rightly highlighted, Prime Minister's popularity, in fact, spans across the globe, and that is something we also witnessed yesterday when he arrived at the hotel. There were puppet programs also depicting the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, and that is, in fact, the ancient religious and social connect that India and Indonesia share. And Prime Minister will also be visiting the temple tomorrow. That, again, will be a very interesting one when he visits that temple. So we'll have to see how that shapes up. But as far as the diaspora connect is concerned, yes, we have a sizable Indian community there. They have been actively, in fact, contributing to the economy as well. And so we'll have to see if there is going to be any active engagement with regards to doing something for the Indian diaspora community, and maybe build on the people-to-people ties that India and Indonesia both share. We could expect an MOU on that front as well.
All right. We're looking at several of that, when it comes to strengthening India's defense exports. We are looking at a strategic influence in the Indo-Pacific as well. I'm told that Ambassador Suresh Kumar Goyal is connected with us here on the broadcast. Sir, good morning to you. The pictures of the ceremonial welcome accorded to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. What are your thoughts on that as far as when it comes to the closeness and the strengthening of ties between India and Indonesia?
Very important visit. India-Indonesian relations are not of just 100 years or 200 years as civilizational. Trade between India and Indonesia, you only need to go to Bali and Yogyakarta and Sumatra to see the extent of the influence of the civilizational ties from India to Indonesia. In the modern context, there are several areas where we need to work together. It includes strategic ties in Indo-Pacific, including the expanding influences of certain other countries, how to meet a challenge there, as well as cooperation between India and Indonesia at a bilateral level on critical minerals, defense, and latest technologies. So yes, Indonesia is the biggest country in ASEAN. So that is enough to understand its importance.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us here on the broadcast. Well, lots to look forward to. I'm told that on the defense angle, we also have Srinjoy Chaudhary connected with us. Srinjoy, good morning. Pictures that have been coming in. What are we now looking at the defense aspect of it, especially when we speak of maritime security, deepening partnership amid geopolitical challenges in the region?
Yeah, there are really four things that have to be looked at vis-a-vis the Indonesian visit. Point number one, the BrahMos cruise missile, which India has sold only to the Philippines. Now the sale for the BrahMos missile, and the deal could be about $400 million, is in the final stages. It's entirely possible that this will be discussed during the visit, though the announcement of the deal may not happen now, or the deal may not be signed now. They could say at the end of the visit that yes, it's in the final stages. The other thing that has been talked about quietly is the Scorpene submarine. Now this is a French-designed Scorpene submarine. India has built 6 of them in the Mazagon docks in Mumbai. Now Indonesia is beginning to build it. You know that very few countries in the world have built submarines. So India and Indonesia are talking about Indian technical help to build the submarines, which is a very, very specific project. Now the 2 submarines Indonesia is building, India could help with personnel, with technical help for the construction of these submarines. That is something which will take the relationship farther ahead. Thirdly is the purchase of nickel from Indonesia. Now nickel is required for stainless steel, for EVs, for aircraft engines, which India could make in the future. Now this nickel, Indonesia has 60% of the world's nickel. So it's absolutely imperative for India, which wants to have a green economy in the future, to have large quantities of nickel. And that could come from Indonesia. Fourthly, rare earths. Now this is something China has almost a monopoly on. Now there is a potential that of Indonesia in all these islands, it has thousands of islands having rare earths.
I think I was about to come to the China factor there, Srinjoy. Let me take up that question with Mayank on this, because Mayank is also joining us here on the broadcast. Mayank, help us understand when Prime Minister Modi and President Subianto will also be reviewing the bilateral trade and economic relations, and what is being said that Indonesia has now emerged as India's second largest trading partner in ASEAN region. What is being said that the bilateral trade touches over $24.78 billion in 2025-26.
Amita, let me emphasize what you have brought out by quoting an example, which is 5 days back, the liaison officer from Indonesia has joined. There's something, an organization called as IFC IOR, International Fusion Center, Indian Ocean Region. Now, Indian Ocean Region here is very important because the partnership between Indonesia and India is not going to be just a bilateral partnership, but it is going to have an effect of strategic realm. I mean, that's the kind of a huge potential both the countries have, and now they have started not only revealing the strength of it, actually they are trying to imbibe the things together, to grow together, to also build up many things apart from the military training and exercises. Mind it, Amita. And the point which you have brought out, nothing would have come out in the opportune time after the whatever has happened in West Asia, and you can see the maritime sphere. Indonesia's geostrategic location, geographical strategic location, gives it such an important, location in this way that larger trade which passes from those areas is actually it passes through the straits,
Yes.
and the stretch of the land and geography of Indonesia gives a strong edge to the place. And these two nations, once they get together, or the way they are building the relationship,
Yes.
it is going to strengthen
So hugs, handshake,
the
ceremonial
relationship of
welcome,
both.
and of course that has been accorded to Prime Minister Narendra Modi with the pictures that have been coming in, as Mayank, Akansha and Srinjoy pointed out, because India is now seeking a foothold when it comes to Indonesia's critical minerals and also processing industry that seems to be mainly also dominated by China. So we are looking at the bilaterals that would be underway, and we'll keep our viewers updated on the developments. Thank you very much, Akansha, Srinjoy and Mayank, for joining us here on the broadcast. Let's